Hey guys, I'm back, and today I'm doing another quick bite, this time from El Salvador. I was house sitting for somebody who is from El Salvador, and they brought me back some treats that I would like to share with you, so let's get into it. The first of those are some dried goods. I was told that you can get these on board buses or in those sort of on-the-go kinds of areas. You pay a few cents for them, and you go along your way munching on a piece of dried papaya or coconut or what have you. So this dried papaya looks a lot like any of the dried fruits that you might get at a supermarket, but this is a little bit thinner and it's a little bit crispier too. So it's a little bit like a fruit chip, but it's also got compacted sugar on the outside, so it's quite sweet. So there's a lot of taste of just sugar coating. Because the papaya is cut so thin and has so much sugar on it, it loses a bit of its flavor, which is a little bit disappointing because I love dried papaya and it's something that I really enjoy when I see it in the supermarket, which here is not always the most common thing. The next one I have is coconut, and it looks to be quite similar. It's very, very thin strips of coconut just scraped from a coconut, and it's also covered in the compacted sugar, so it's also quite sweet. There's less sugar coating on this one than the papaya, so I like this a little bit better, even though the coconut itself has a little bit less distinctive of a flavor. These I could see as being little quick on-the-go sources of staving off your hunger for later, or if you are just in the mood to munch on something while you're on the bus. They're not bad. And last but not least, I have a mix of chicharrones with yuca, which is a mix of cassava chips and little pork rinds. Chicharrón is the Spanish word for pork rind and any kind of products that are made from them. I have in my hands a little piece of the yuca as well as the pork rind. I'm gonna try the yuca first because I'm more familiar with it. It's got a very satisfying crunch and it tastes a lot like a potato chip, but the difference in flavor between the yuca and a potato is that the cassava root itself is a little bit more subtle in flavor and it's a little bit less earthy than a potato. So I like this a little bit better than a potato chip. And lastly, I have this little guy, and this is a pork rind, and this is something that I have never had before. This is a pretty common treat all throughout the world, something that people eat when they are drinking beer or watching a sports game or what have you. Those are not things that I do that often, so this is quite the novelty for me. So it appears to just be basically fried fat, which is what gives things like bacon all of their flavor, and I can see how people would like these. This is not my personal favorite. It's very salty, so if you like salty things, I guess this would appeal to you. That's all I have for this quick bite. I hope that you learned something and that you enjoyed it, and if you did, you might think about subscribing to my channel. I make videos about food and culture. I also have an LGBT podcast called Bottom of the Mainstream, which you can find at bottomofthemainstream.com. We have a fancy new domain now, and I will see you next time.